Hey, this is Drake from the Unspoiled Hunter here. Hey, just doing another video here. This is going to be come map scouting with me. This one's going to be on a military base, which, yeah, it actually turns out you can, in fact, hunt on military bases for certain people. People who are in the military, prior military, military retired, disabled veterans, military contractors, contractors who work on base, civilians who work on base are all allowed to hunt on base. There's always a lot of extra rules. I don't like the extra rules on base, but what it does for me is it does extend my season a little bit because I'm going to get out there at the season bow opener at August 15th so that I can extend my season and hunt a little bit during that early bow season. Now, here in the South, it is really hot in August. You'll be hunting in 90 to 95-degree weather, which is not ideal, but at least it's some hunting to do. I just bought uh, some new broadheads. Got the 150 grain single bevels. We'll see how those work out for me. Um, Anyways, going to get started on this map scouting. Before we get started, though, I just wanted to thank all the people who have been watching the videos, commenting, subscribing. Up to 16 subscribers. That's honestly more than I thought I was going to get this early on. So thank you guys for that. I'll just keep making these videos and we'll see what happens. I'm not really trying to make money off of this. I'm not trying to make a giant channel. I'm just trying to help people. So the more subscribers, the more I'm willing to put in that time and help more people out because it's actually reaching people. All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with this map scouting. All right, and we are recording. All right, so I have some map features on a little bit differently this time. This time I actually have private land marked and not government land marked. You can see over here, private land is marked, not government land. And that's just because when I turn on government lands, it tells you the name of this base. I'd rather just not have the name of the base plastered on here. I'm sure you could figure it out if you really wanted to, but I'd rather just not have the name of the base here. You can see from my screen right here, I've already done quite a bit of scouting over here, quite a bit of pins that I've laid here. Um, go ahead and zoom in and show you what I've found over here. So I had a corn pile over here. Yes, you can use corn on the military base. It's essentially considered private land, which is kind of strange, but that's just how it is. So I had this spot here. I had some issues with this because I put out a stand. I believe it's this one. I put a stand right there. About, I want to say it was about 8 to 12 hours before I was actually allowed to. There was a miscommunication about when I was allowed to with the game wardens. So I went and put one out on a Friday afternoon. Turned out I wasn't actually allowed to put them out there until the next day on Saturday. So then the next day on Saturday, my stand was right here. My camera was right here facing towards the stand. And I got a picture of some guy walking up, taking my stand. And then he put a little note on my camera for me, going to tell me to go talk to the head game warden. And apparently, I had put out my stand early, and they confiscated my stand, and they banned me for a short term that I wasn't allowed to hunt, all because miscommunication, which is a big part of why I don't like hunting on base, especially because, let's be honest, that guy did not take my stand and get me that ban because I put it out too early. He did it because this was his spot, and he was pissed off that I found his spot. And I don't like that. That's not okay that someone would do that and abuse their power to do that. So I don't really like hunting on base, among other reasons. For one, you can't carry a sidearm, which is, in my opinion, not safe. It is unsafe to be hunting in these places without a sidearm. You also can't use rifles, so I only use my bow on base. You can use shotgun, you can use crossbows, you can use muzzle loader, which I will buy a muzzle loader at some point. You just can't use rifles, which as you guys know, rifle is my favorite type of hunting. So anyways, I've spent a lot of time down here. I've set this spot up here a few times because it was just far enough. There's this guy who took my stand over here. His stand was actually over here. Um, he was mad that I found a spot and I liked it. And so this was far enough that it met the requirements of, I think you have to be 100 yards or 200 yards or something away from anyone else. So I set a stand right there instead. But anyways, all that struggle with this area right here, I'm just done. I'm done. I'm not going to hunt there. There was plenty of bucks on my camera, but once the season started, they were only there at night. So I think maybe I know there's a guy who hunts over here somewhere. I was hunting here. This guy was hunting here. I think there's a lot of pressure over here. So I'm done with this spot. We're going to move to the north side of base. Now, you'll see these green stand markers. These are stands that the base has put out for people to use. The game wardens on base have put out for people to use. You'll see all around here all these different stands. Anyways, the biggest thing I'm interested in to go check out is, I always tell you guys, look for changes in terrain. Well, there's the biggest change in terrain right there. Big Island. I'm interested in this. I talked to the game wardens and they said that there can be some mud right here that makes it difficult to cross with your truck. So I've got a bicycle. I'll use the bicycle if I have to. I haven't driven out here yet. I've driven out to this area. I don't know if I can actually get into here to use that road or not. I think there's a fence right there. There's also a gate right there. So I don't know how I'm actually supposed to get in here. Maybe there's a way in over here. I'll go driving over here one day and go figure it out. Looks like there's a road over there I could use. Yeah, I could probably use this road. I'm going to go ahead and mark that because I think this is going to be the road that's going to be my entry point. We'll mark that with an access. I think this is where I'm going to access from. Not sure. We'll figure it out. And then that road comes back over here. It looks like it goes around the perimeter of this fencing area right here because this is a secured area over here. So I would not be hunting over there for sure. And I don't really want to pass through this extra security gate over here. So I would be passing up here. Let's see. Well, here's some changes in terrain already. And there's a stand set up over there. So what I'm interested in is this area right here. That looks like an interesting change in terrain. We'll check that out sometime. And then these look like drainages that are draining water out into the river here. These might be interesting. Again, for some reason, my map is not showing on the computer the acorn producing oaks layer. So I'm going to also pull out my phone here and I'll let you know if these spots show acorn producing oaks. Anyways, we come down this road. Oops, did not mean to rotate that. Oh, okay. I actually didn't know I could do that like 3D look on onX. Let's go over here. All right, so I just laid you can see on my map on my phone, I see my two markers that I just laid here. And what do you know, right here is all lit up in orange as saying it is acorn producing oaks. And then this right here, right here is all marked with a blue dotted line. So that is showing that there is water there. Same with up here. So this whole area honestly is interesting between these two rivers. Looks like there's a little trail right here. So I'm going to mark that trail as something that I want to go look at. Whoops, that is not tracks. That is a trail. Access. We'll call it access for now. I usually go and call it trail at some point. This looks interesting. What's this? So the biggest issue I've had on base has been just that the bucks don't really seem to come out at night. Sorry about that. They don't really seem to come out during the day during hunting season. They will all the way up till hunting season starts, but once that hunting pressure comes on hard, and they just stop moving. Okay, this whole area looks interesting to me. I'm going to mark these little spots here. This little shift in terrain right here. You see how you just have multiple shifts of terrain right here. You have this coming in here. This types of trees here look different than these types of trees. You have a little bit of a trail right here, and then you have this trail right here, and then this leads into these oaks over here. So this is an interesting little spot. We'll check that spot out. Same with this spot right here. Same thing, as it leads up to here. So this is a good spot to go see what we can find here. Not saying that there is anything here, but we'll go take a look. Next thing that's interesting, just exactly the same, is you have this floodplain right here that leads into some trees here. And then this would be a path up to these oaks that are over here. So also going to mark that spot to go check out. Next thing I want to check out over here is, so there's already a stand here. This looks like it has been thinned and clear cut. So does this. This looks like it's been thin and clear cut. That actually looks like a little bit of a hill right there. So that's interesting. I like that. That is a place to check out. So we have these clear cuts that have been thinned, and I'm guessing if we go through here, it's actually not thinned. It's actually very, very thick with deep, dense thorn thicket, just like I talk about on the public land on the last video that I did. But then combined with that, you have these fields out here. You have this perimeter area that is thinned. And we've got a little hill right here. You can see from the shadow a little bit of a hill. And then that hill leading over to this hill. So this hill right here. And you see the shadow. I bet something's hiding out in that shadow. Maybe. We'll find out. That spot I'm going to check out. Another shift in terrain. We have this little isolated island out here. By island, I mean grouping of trees out in a clear field. I call those islands quite often. You'll also notice that these two spots are both relatively close to these pre-set up stands. These pre-set up stands, I don't like hunting out of them. I don't find them to be a reliable place. I find them to be someone who kind of ish knew what they were doing, put them there, and then just left them and never really figured out if it was a good spot or not. So I don't like hunting out of these. I'd rather just bring my climber and find my own independent spot. All of this area looks a little bit different. I would guess that potentially anything that's bedding here or bedding out in these floodplains might walk along this edge right here. So I'll drop a pin. And right up here is the end of base. Another road coming up here. It wouldn't hurt to come check out this. You see how this is a combination of multiple different edges coming together. You have this edge, you have this edge, You have this edge coming around here, and it's also coming to the end of base, which there's probably a fence right here. So I want to check out right here. Keep in mind, I'm dropping a lot of pins here. A lot of this is just going to be like, especially these pins right out here could all be checked in one scouting trip real easily, because it looks like there's a road right here. So to come drive out to here, park here, and then walk out to there is not going to take me very long. I might wander around here a little bit and then get back to the truck and then drive over here, check out this pin. Again, not going to take me very long to walk across that field and go check that out. And then this one is literally on a road, so not going to take me super long to go check that out. And then I could probably also come out here and hit this one as well. Looks like there's a road that comes in here, maybe. Looks like there's a road that comes in here, but not sure because it is not. You see it come in here, but it just kind of disappears from there. And it's not really marked. Okay. Now, there's also going to be a fence here. So there's going to be a fence line here and a fence line here. So somewhere in here would not be a bad place to check out. You can see right here, there's already a preset stand right there. I cannot get over to here because that is off base. I don't know. It's worth a drive over here, check it out. I don't really see anything interesting out here that really piques my interest. You do have this shift over here. Might be worth looking at. These two stands over here. Guy I talked to, he's I believe he's retired now. He said he hunts out of one of these two stands with a crossbow sometimes. He calls these the swamp stands, which these don't look all that swampy. This looks kind of swampy, but I'll take his word for it that maybe there's some swamp over here. We'll check this out right here at some point. And this is interesting. I don't know what this is. I've never actually seen a shift that looks like this. This might be a field. It might be swamp. It might be just, I'm not sure. It might be a clear cut of some kind. And you can see multiple spots that look like that along here. You can also see some edge from these two things coming together into a kind of a single funnel right here, which then leads to, let's check my phone. I bet those are oaks right there. Let me check the map on my phone. Yeah, those are all marked as oaks. These are all lit up in orange as oaks. So I would want to check this right here because this looks like a funnel. This looks like anything that would be coming from this way would avoid this open area out here, and they would funnel through right here because they're also avoiding this open area right here. So either right here or maybe right here. Both leading to these oaks right here. So I would go check this out, and probably what I would look for is a white oak somewhere in here. This is probably a ton of red oaks with one or two sparse white oaks, which is what I find a lot in South Carolina is one or two white oaks amongst the red oaks, and then those white oaks, the acorns taste better. So those deer are more likely to eat the white oaks. They taste better. They're going to be there longer. They're going to spend more time on those white oaks, but those white oaks are not dropping for a very long time. They drop for about a week or two, and then they're gone. mostly because everything's eating them. The white oaks taste better than the red oaks. I've marked this little field out here. Wouldn't mind going to check it out. This is this very nice little property out here. I pass it by a few times. I'm guessing that they have some kind of feeders or corn out. So bet you pretty close to right here. You see this little clear area right here. That might be a place to check out. These are railroad tracks right here, but I think this is a road. Yeah, there's a road right here. So I could just come off. Okay, I know where this is right here. Come off here, and I can park like right here and come and explore over here. Okay. So I've marked some places that I want to go check out. Oh, I never even marked Big Island, but do you really need to mark it? I mean, look at this thing. Can you? You don't need to mark it, but I'm gonna mark it. Why not? So just conclusion here. First thing I'm gonna do, avoid this spot. I'm gonna come up this road. Might as well check out these spots real quick on my way up because they can be done real quick. I'm gonna park right here. Check out these two spots over here. I have marked these two spots. I don't really want to go over why. I'm not going to go out there. Then I could come up here, take this road over here. I think there's a gate right here, but I could be wrong. So I'm either going to park right here or I'm going to park up here and come check this area out. And then I'll come up here. These should be real quick as long as I can drive out here. And since there's stands here, I can probably drive out here. These are going to be real quick. I'm going to check those two spots really quick. Just pass by. I'm going to come. I have not driven out here. I don't know where the gates are. I don't know where they do and do not let me in. Honestly, I don't even want to come this way. I want to figure out my access and I want to come back around this way. So I'm going to come back to this main road. I'm pretty sure I can access through this road right here. So I want to come back this way. And I'm going to skip over all this stuff on my first scouting trip. I'm going to come and check out these areas first. So I'm going to come out here. Probably stop here and go walk out here, out to this spot. Unless I can drive over to here. Maybe I'll drive over to park right here and check out this spot and just see where this stand is exactly. Someone gave me a map that shows me where these pins are, and I just went on my onX and marked them. But I don't know if it's here. It could be over here. It could be over here. It's somewhere around here. So I just want to locate where this stand is. I want to check out that island of trees over there. I want to check out this edge right here. This is multiple edges coming together right there. And then I want to check out this hill right here. All of that could be done in one long scouting trip on a Saturday morning, especially since there's going to be a lot of driving involved and not a whole lot of walking. Now, I say that, but keep in mind, sometimes you don't think it's going to be a whole lot of walking. Then you find something interesting, and from something interesting, you end up walking for a long way to follow it. So that'll be my first scouting trip. Second scouting trip, I think I'm going to come check this area out. Probably park here. Maybe over here. I'll probably come see if I can park right over here, somewhere over here. Check out this stand, and then these markers that I left over here. All of these stands, these preset stands, I do want to locate them. I just want to see them, lay eyes on them, know that it's not just a marker. I want to have knowledge of these and know exactly where the markers are. And then on that same trip, I'll probably come check out Big Island. We'll see if I can actually get to the island. I'm guessing that right here is where he's talking about. It's so muddy that you can't really get through. I have 4-wheel drive, but I also don't want to get stuck. So I would much rather just stop my truck and start walking or take my bicycle if I have to. All right, well, that was a quick map scout. I think I have enough information from the map here that I'm ready to go do 2 quick scouting trips through here. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for coming with me on that map scouting trip there. I do map scouting all the time, pretty much every evening in the summer coming into fall. I spend some time map scouting. So I figured I might as well start recording some of them for some content for you guys to see, because the biggest hurdle for me was finding where I can and can't hunt and where to go hunt. So I figured it'll help you guys if I just show you what I'm doing and how I figure out where to hunt. I'll probably be recording these videos fairly regularly because they're very easy to make and it's just me recording things that I'm already doing. They're not going to be super exciting. It's just going to be me on the map showing you how it's done. I figure since I was doing some normal boots on the ground scouting today in the place that I'll be hunting in September, I should probably also spend some time on the base scouting in the next week or two because it opens in the next week or two. Um, I'm not super committed to the base hunting. Number one, I don't really like hunting with my bow that much. Number two, like I said, I don't like the rules for base hunting. I find them kind of unsafe. I don't like following those rules. I follow them because I have to when I'm hunting on base, but I'm not invested in it because of those rules. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Um, I'm probably going to make more of these videos pretty often, so keep an eye out for them. Thank you guys again for all the likes, subscribes. I did not expect to have the number of subscribers I have, even though it's very small, right? Only 16 subscribers. I didn't expect it to be going this quickly. So it's starting out good. Let's keep it going. So keep getting those likes, keep getting those subscriptions. Just keep liking the videos and watching the videos is really what gets this channel going. So thank you for that. Anyways, we're gonna close it out for now. But I always gotta tell you my line: the only unsuccessful hunt is one in which you did not learn anything. Thank you.